Hi everyone, my name is Bernice, and Sync is a very weird kind of outfit. We use consumer insights to tackle social policy issues. Now, how do we do that? I'm going to walk you through a current project that we're working on, which is actually not representative of our typical consulting work, but here goes. So, data, empathy, and design to tackle urban poverty in a struggling neighborhood in Singapore. It's as close to inner city Singapore as it gets, Bukit Ho Swee. It's right in between Tiong Bahru and Red Hill. So yeah, right next to really gentrified hipster coffee places. So how did this happen? We got approached by the Thought Collective, which is a big social enterprise in Singapore, to do something about this. And what they wanted us to do was to journey with the residents, identify the points that could be innovated upon, and then to pilot some things over the next 2 to 3 years. And just to walk you quickly through our methods, ethnography. So what does this mean? It's from anthropology, and it's not just these words, it's ground pounding, door knocking on residents' doors, and also talking to people in the void decks when they're available. This is, of course, in addition to the names that we got from Ministry of Social and Family Services. This is Sati. She has 2 kids, aged 7 and 5. She became effectively a single mom when her husband got put behind bars for drug abuse. And she gets $180 a month from MUIS, which is a voluntary welfare organization in Singapore. The kids often eat fish fingers, frozen fish fingers, and other kind of frozen snacks that she buys in bulk when there's a sale that she spots at NTUC. When asked if she wanted to, when asked about the idea of working, she said that she'd rather not, and that her choice was to stick around closer with the kids and spend more time with them so that she could watch over them really closely while they were young, until they grew up a little bit more and had more wits about them. That was kind of what she was saying. So this is interesting, right? Because what this means is that protection of the kids trumped the financial buffers that she would have had with employment, even at a nutritional cost for her kids. And the insight that we got from this is don't dismiss the way that low-income families and individuals think, because they have their own kind of logic. And our job is to understand where they're coming from. Next, data. Okay, I have to be really quick. So yes, a lot of data digging and crunching, and there's never enough, is it? We had 2 main sources. We really wanted a lot more, from housing and population statistics, publicly available, as well as our local community partner from Bukit Ho Swee Family Service Center. A few things that we really wanted, but I'll just skip through really. Primary school enrollment, crime and suicide. These are really difficult to get. And I really love to get my hands on these if I could in the next few months. Hint, hint. Okay, so we just did a very simple Pearson two-tailed t-test correlation analysis, and we got one piece of interesting thing. It's not groundbreaking, but we did find that there was a negative correlation between family violence and full-time employment. What does that mean? This is definitely something we want to look further into. Another question that we have on our minds is, how do low-income families and individuals make their decisions? What are their drivers and all of those things you see there? Next. Okay, from all this data that, qualitative and quantitative data we got, we came up, or we uncovered 5 themes. Social connectedness. How might we create this nostalgic sense of the kampong, right, which is the village, to translate? Self-belief. How might we enable those who feel helpless or disempowered to rebuild a sense of control over their lives? Financial empowerment. And this is not just about knowing what comes in has to be more than what goes out. It's that people have low or irregular incomes, and so this makes it difficult for them to absorb shocks. So for these people, how might we enable them to gain a greater control over their finances? And next, employment. It's not just about getting a job. It's for people who have situations that make it difficult for them to have full-time regular work. What can we do for them to create more flexible or alternative kind of employment? Can we imagine those? Finally, education. And it's not just about going to school and getting a degree. Many of them don't even think about that. But it's how can we help kids who are coming from unstable family environments to build a strong educational foundation so that they can have the basics to go out there in the world. So, participatory design. I probably shouldn't go too much into detail. Suffice to say that we are using the research, and then on top of that, inviting people from the wider community to come in and ideate on it. And as part of that, we'll also use a bit of lean methodology to validate or invalidate assumptions about how they test their hypotheses. Prototyping weekend is what this culminates in just for this year. And it's not just a hackathon. We want to think of it as building out concepts that they have already been thinking about in the weeks beforehand through the online ideation. So what next? There's a lot going on. We intend for the prototypes to be further developed because of the longer-term relationship we have with the Family Service Center. There is a paper that's going to be released by the Lien Center for Social Innovation, and they'll be sharing some of their background research with us, even though only part of it will be published. And of course, with the Bukit Ho Swee Family Service Center, we're going to continue working with them to implement some of the very interesting prototypes that we think will come out of this prototyping weekend. So that's just a summary on this project. Feel free to ask me any questions later.